thought it'd be a good idea to talk a little bit about what it looks like to work with me and my team because I have considered taking functional medicine out of my practice name for a really long time simply because I hate the direction that functional medicine is going. Truly, I hate it. And so I don't really love to be associated with that. But at the same time, the way that we practice is functional. But there are a lot of differences too between how some practices practice and how we practice. So I know it can be big and scary and overwhelming when you are thinking about starting with a new provider because it is quite the investment in terms of financial investment and time investment. And so I want to make sure that you have the information you need to make it a little bit less scary, which just hopefully can get you to take that next step. If you are interested in working with us, you fill out an application. That application is a good first step for us to see if we're a good fit for you. After you fill out that application, you're redirected to set up a 30-minute it's a video call with me for free. I do this. It's so intentional. I have considered, I've had business coaches and people say to stop doing those calls for free or to stop doing them at all. And I just can't do it because I am so passionate about it being a very good fit. And that is the call where I determine if I actually feel like I can help you. I am not somebody who takes every client. It's not me. I am somebody who takes clients that are perfect for our practice and for our specialty. So there might be big red flags or something on the call where, I say, I don't know that I can help you because of X, Y, and Z, or I think this person might be a better fit for you. So I am not interested in taking your money if I feel like I cannot help. I see the investment as an exchange of energy. You are going to invest your time and financially, and I am going to invest in pouring into you and healing. It's an exchange of energy, right? And I want to make sure that every single person that invests in anything I do says that was the point when everything changed. That was the time when my life took a complete turn for the better and I've never looked back. So that call, again, is just a very no pressure call for you to understand a little bit how we operate, a little bit of like the logistics of working together, and for you to determine if we are a good fit. Let's say that you're like, sign me up, because usually that's how it is. By the end of the call, people are like, this is exactly what I need. It's exactly what I want. How do I get started? Like, let's start yesterday. And I love that. I love the enthusiasm. So the next point of contact here is we would set up an initial call. So this is where things are getting started. You fill out some paperwork ahead of time so that first call, we're not sitting there, and me asking, what's your family history? No, I already know. You already filled that out on a form. Now we just hit the ground running. Also, the majority of our clients, I'd say probably 85 to 90% of our clients have worked with multiple previous providers. So they have tests, they have protocols, they have scans from their traditional doctor. There are so many things they have as part of their history. I want all of it. So you upload that before we even meet. On the practitioner side, we spend an hour to 2 hours before an initial call prepping for your session. What we are doing is putting everything together. We're looking at the timeline of when did this start? And okay, you've got this symptom and that symptom, but this happens when you eat this, and then this happens over here, and you took that one medication that one time and you were in bed for a month. All of those pieces are pieces to the puzzle of what your root cause actually is, and it gets us there faster. So I am never overwhelmed. I have clients that are like, okay, I have 2 decades worth of tests and protocols. And I'm like, give them to me. I love it. In movies where they have like a board and there's pictures and then they have string and they're like connecting the string to all of the different things. That's exactly how I feel when I'm prepping for an initial call. It's the most fun I have in my life, truly. And I'm not being dramatic. I actually love it. The more complicated, the better. And because I love being the person that can finally find you answers when nobody else has, and everyone has overcomplicated it, and everybody has missed something that is so glaringly obvious to me. So that's how we prep for the first session. Again, we look through literally everything you have. Then on that initial call, it's an hour, and we start to kind of fill in the gap. So maybe I have a couple more clarifying questions about bloating, or I have a couple more clarifying questions about maybe a supplement that you're taking, and I want to know if you notice a difference or whatever that might be. It's my way to fill in the blanks of what am I missing to really bring this home for you. Towards the end of the call, we'll talk about what are we doing? So what do I think is going on? And then what are we going to do to tackle those issues? It's honestly a combination of a lot of things. Some people want to know, what's a sample protocol look like for you? And the answer is I just can't even give a sample protocol because it's different for literally every single client. We do not do set protocols. It is completely individualized to you. So you won't get generic things like eliminate this and eliminate that and take this and take that. No, we understand your lifestyle. We understand how you operate. Are you at the ball field until 9 p.m.? Do you have more flexibility? Do you have weekends off? What is your work schedule? What is your sleep schedule? We take all of that into account so it makes it actually realistic for you to make a change. You get a personalized protocol after every session. And what this looks like is it's kind of grouped into different things. So if there's something that we want, like maybe there's a lab that you didn't upload that we want to see, we'll ask you to upload that. Then we move into the nutrition category, nutrition or food category. Here we're going to be talking about little changes. Again, this is the very first session. We do not do a complete diet overhaul. I have so many clients who are like, yeah, I ate everything in my cabinet last night because I knew you were going to take food away today. And I'm like, not at all. You could have kept it in your cabinet. So that's not how we operate. It's more about small changes that are actually sustainable. If I have you completely overhaul your diet, it's not going to last and it's not going to make you happy because you have to change literally everything and put so much thought into what you're doing and eating and how you're cooking. It's just not my style. So the food side of things, what is more likely the case is that I might start changing the timing of your meals. So spacing things out is actually really important depending on what's going on in your gut. We might talk about some changes of maybe you're not eating breakfast. Okay, well, first step is let's just have something for breakfast. We don't have to make it the most beautiful, perfect breakfast, but let's start somewhere. And we talk about some options that have worked for you in the past. Then maybe for lunch, you're going out to eat you're ordering takeout every day at lunch. We're going to come up with ideas that have worked for you before. So have you ever packed your lunch? What worked well? And then we do that and we get you into a rhythm of maybe eating breakfast, changing your timing, altering lunch a little bit. Then when those things start to feel sustainable, then we fine tune at later appointments. First, we have to build the habit. We have to build those muscles of I prep, I bring my, lunch to work every day. And then we take, okay, what are we taking for lunch every day? And how do we make slight changes here and there that are going to optimize for maybe it's metabolic health that we need to work on. Maybe you want to lose weight. Maybe we need to optimize for gut health, or maybe we need to cool it. Maybe we can't go gung ho into fiber and plant variety and all of the things that we need to do for your gut health because you're reacting to everything. In that case, we don't even touch the diet on the first call because first I have to make you less reactive to food before I can expect you to eat foods that are going to benefit your health. So again, it's totally dependent on the person, but the changes that we start with are quite small, but extremely significant. When clients move through our program, the number one thing that I hear is that it's so sustainable and it felt so simple. Often we get to the last call and in terms of diet or nutrition, they say, I feel like we haven't changed much. And I'm like, that's hilarious because let me read to you when you came to us how you were eating and what you were eating. And they're like, yeah, so I've changed everything. Exactly. The reason it feels like you didn't change anything is because it was so simple and because we made it easy for you. So it was so natural to just be a part of your life. It wasn't something that you had to overhaul. That's how you make things sustainable. Other things that we might do with diet, maybe change the way that you're eating. So eating environment is really big when it comes to gut health and changes, but we never do a food elimination diet. We really just don't. So you never come to us and we say, okay, eliminate dairy and eliminate gluten, and we're going to do a low FODMAP diet. Here's the handout and here you go. And that's how I see functional medicine being practiced, and I hate it. They put every single person on the same exact diet plan, which is no seed oils, no sugar, no blah, blah, blah. Well, if you're a mom with young kids, I have a 4 and a 7-year-old, almost 5 and 8, we have ice cream dates. We had a little ice cream date yesterday with the kids, and sometimes they want to make cookies. And I'm not about demonizing any food in our house. So when they say, hey, mom, can we make cookies? You've got a couple options. You can say, no, it's not good for your health. Absolutely not. I'm not going to say that. And then you can make them and then just watch them eat them and not enjoy them, and that will make you miserable. Or you can bake them a really small batch and enjoy a warm, gooey cookie with a glass of milk, knowing that it's totally fine, right? So you might be on the other end too thinking, okay, that's cool, Brittany, but I can't tolerate any of these foods. So you want me to add them back in? The answer is no. So if you are leaving food out right now, our ultimate goal is to get you to add those foods back in. However, we cannot start there. If you come to me and I say, yeah, I don't really believe in food sensitivities, eat anything you want, you're going to feel miserable. So we do things in steps. We say, okay, first we're going to work on the actual root cause of your gut issues. We're going to heal that. And then from there, you will be able to tolerate foods better so that you can bring back those foods that you were missing from before. That's where the magic happens. So we will never force you to do something that doesn't make you feel good. The goal is that we feel good from start to finish and feel better and better and better. And then you wake up and realize, oh my gosh, I feel amazing and I'm not on any supplements and I'm not on a restrictive diet. That's how it works. So that's the food component. There's probably other things that I could discuss that I'm totally forgetting about. The next section would be supplements. I am not a very supplement heavy practitioner. However, there is a time and a place for supplements. There just is. There's no way around it. So the way that we treat supplements is I call it like a little pat on the butt for your body. It's like a boop, boop, you can do it. Like, you got this, It's short term. It's meant to make a drastic change in something that needs to be changed. And then they are meant to taper off, or they are a Band-Aid approach. And I am not a fan of Band-Aid approaches, but sometimes they're needed. So at the beginning, maybe you're not digesting your food particularly well. Well, I might put you on a digestive enzyme to give your gut a break and let your body actually digest food so that we're not creating downstream issues while we're fixing the root cause of why your body isn't digesting on its own. I'm very clear when I give a supplement recommendation and it's a Band-Aid and I say, this is a Band-Aid. We're using it just as a bridge to make sure that we can tolerate foods now. And then we're going to pull off of those once we've been working on the root cause. Very strategic there. We do a lot of, basic supplementation too. So maybe I feel like your nutrient status is completely depleted. Well, that's going to play into your resiliency of your gut. Your gut cannot heal if it doesn't have the vitamins and the minerals that it needs to actually be healthy. So we might start there. Maybe there's an overgrowth in your small intestine or in your colon. There's no amount of broccoli that I can give you that's going to clear that overgrowth. Sometimes we actually have to attack it with an antimicrobial or some other supplement that, again, is short term. So the way that this looks in terms of supplement lifespan, if you will, you come to us, we start with some foundational things. I say, let's look at this and see what this fixes. Often, the simple foundational things fix 40% of symptoms in my clients. Then whatever symptoms are left, we say, okay, this is where we're honing in on. The fact that these symptoms are still lingering tells me it is something deeper that we need to address. So now we're going to layer on this protocol to address this specific root cause. Overgrowth of bacteria, for example. Now we have to add an antimicrobial to kill that off so we can get the rest of your symptoms gone. You might be on it for several weeks, but then we eventually are going to taper off of that and make sure that without any supplements, that your gut is solid, that it's rock solid, that you're not having any symptoms, that things are feeling good. That's when we know it's time to graduate and you're good to go. The average time that clients spend with us is about 4 months, from I am completely miserable, I think about my gut all the time and I hate it, to wow, I feel amazing and I don't think about my gut at all. 4 months is the average. Some people wrap up sooner. Some people need a little bit longer. It really just depends. But again, that's the average. The other part about supplements, I start quite simply, not ineffective. Simple does not mean ineffective, but I start with things that I think are going to move the needle. And then we only add complexity when it's needed. So that's what I was talking about before. We might start with some foundational things. And again, it fixes some of your symptoms, but some are still lingering. The ones that are still lingering, that's where we add complexity. Where I see this going wrong in a lot of other practices is practitioners add a supplement for every symptom. So you might be struggling with gut issues, but you also have hormonal issues. You also have blood sugar issues. Your sleep is disrupted. You have headaches, all of these things. So they give you a supplement for literally every symptom. I don't do that, because I say, well, what's the root cause? How are they all connected? Let's address the one deeper root cause, because if we can address that, it's going to fix all of those symptoms over here, and it's much more simple. And you feel better mentally because you're not popping 100 capsules a day. That's how we operate on the supplement side. We talk about movement. So I don't give specific workout plans, but we are going to talk about how can you get movement in your day if it's something you're not incorporating. Again, everything is personalized. So I learn about how you build habits, what feels good to you, what exercises do you like, what don't you like? Is there a way that we can try this exercise? How can we get that exercise to be something that you want to do, not something you have to do? We do a ton of mindset work when it comes to movement. Also, with nutrition, we didn't talk about that. Emotional eating, healing your relationship with food, feeling like food isn't trying to kill you. All of that is a nervous system mental thing that we work on because we can't get you metabolically healthy if you're binge eating chips on a Friday because you're stressed from the week. So we address literally everything about your health. I don't just want to fix your gut. I want to fix your entire health picture. I don't want you to just say, yeah, my gut feels optimal, but everything else is kind of garbage. No, we're going to fix everything because I want you to finally feel like you are living your life again. I want you to feel like I gave you your life back on a silver platter, and now you're like taking it and running with it and actually conquering this life. Right. All right. We talked about movement. And the final thing is just anything that we're wrapping up with. So I love podcasts and books. And maybe there's something that I feel like, oh, if I could just get you to read this, it would change everything for you. So maybe there's something there. Maybe it is more nervous system mindset things. Maybe we need to talk about stress management. Again, it is completely personalized to what you need in the moment and what's actually driving your symptoms. A couple of other things that set us apart truly is that we keep our client loads tiny. So most providers that you've been to before have 100 to 200 clients, patients that they see regularly. There is zero way they remember every detail about your health picture when they have that many clients. For each practitioner on my team, we max out at around 10 active clients at any time. So we have all of the attention to give to you. You have unlimited chat support when you work with us as well. So yes, we're meeting once a month, but between sessions, we're able to talk through whatever is going on. If you have a flare in symptoms, if you're feeling great and you want to tell somebody you just had the best poop of your life and you need somebody to know, that is what we are there for. We want to be there and cheerlead you when things are going amazing. We want to talk you through times that feel really hard. We want to be there when you're doubting if this is the right path for you. The chat access is just so insanely valuable because we stay in constant contact. You never feel like you're doing this alone. You don't feel like you were shoved a protocol and then said, see ya in a month. No, we are with you every step of the way. So we can change things if we need to. We can pivot if it's needed, or again, just cheerlead you when things are going well. Honestly, the other probably biggest thing that sets us apart is our lack of reliance on testing. I used to be somebody who ordered, $1,000 of labs on every new client that came into our door because I thought, test, don't guess. We have to run labs to know what's happening. But the better that I got at helping people heal from gut issues, the more that I realized that the tests were actually not helping. In some ways, they were hindering what I always knew about the path that we needed to get you on for healing. Testing, especially in the functional medicine world, is not as accurate as people believe. GI map, it used to be the stool test that I ran exclusively. Now I have so many issues with it after using it on a lot of clients, after seeing one sample being sent twice and coming back completely different from the same stool sample. I've seen just really poor correlations. There's things that are not accurate on the GI map, and I found it to just not in any way be worth the money that people are asking. There is a stool test that I do like. No test is perfect, but it gives us much more accurate reading and a much more accurate eye on what's going on. Even the stool test that I like, we do not run on every client because often you don't need it. You just need a practitioner who really understands symptoms and who can get you healing faster while saving you thousands on testing. So we don't have you run tests when you first start with us. But if I feel like we got stuck somewhere, if I'm like, you know what, you're at 80% symptom improvement and that's amazing, we're missing something. What is that last 20%? That might be a time where we bring in testing to just clarify, like, is there something that we couldn't have known unless we tested? So that's kind of how we use testing in the practice. I feel like that gives you a pretty good idea of how we operate, how we're different, what you can expect. But if you have any questions below or you're interested in working with us, I'll make sure we have a link to how you can work with us. If you want to hear from past clients who've worked with us before, I will make sure that that is linked as well. And again, if you want to learn more, go ahead and apply to work with us. We'll have a 30-minute video call where I just make sure I'm a good fit for you. And I can give you an idea of timeline, what healing might look like for you. That way you can determine if we're a good fit. And if we're not a good fit, there are so many practitioners out there. I am confident that you can find a practitioner that fits what you're looking for. I think the key is to recognize that if you are living with severe gut issues and they are disrupting your life, it is time to do something about it. I would be honored to help you, but if it's not me, please look into other practitioners and take action because life is way too short to let gut issues rob you of living. All right, talk soon.